Welcome guys, this is Srikanth here. In this video I am going to show you how to grant execute permissions to a login in SQL Server. You can see that I have already connected to a SQL Server instance using the SQL Server Management Studio. And as I expand databases, you can see a database over here, and as I go to programmability and stored procedures, I have a procedure over here. So now I need to create a login, and then I want to grant execute permissions to this login. Instead of directly granting execute permissions to this login, what I will be doing is I will be creating a database role which will have execute permissions to this procedure, and then the login will be added to the database role, and then the database role will be assigned to the login. First of all, let me go ahead and create a login over here. So let's just create a new login. I'm going to create a SQL Server authentication login. The reason is the mission where I'm doing is it's not in AD, so I just want to create a SQL Server authentication login. So sample user. Okay, I'm going to remove all these settings, and then okay, so I disable these settings just because it will allow me to give a easy password. I'm just clicking OK. So the login is created. Okay, so now I'm going to connect to the same SQL Server using that login. I'm checking remember password so that I don't have to type it again. So we got an error here. Login failed for user sample user. When you see these kind of errors for a SQL Server, the first thing what you should do is you have to go to the server settings and check the security. Here you can see the server authentication, Windows authentication mode is selected. So whereas the second option says the SQL Server and Windows authentication mode. So this is something what we should select in order to allow a SQL Server login to log into the mission. Okay, so if only this is selected, only the accounts which are in AD will be able to connect to the SQL Server. Okay, so if this is selected, the SQL Server login and the Windows authentication logins can log into the SQL Server. So I'm just selecting and clicking OK. Now it is saying that some of your configuration changes will not take effect until SQL Server is restarted. So I'll just restart it from here. So click yes. Again click yes. Now the SQL Server is back again. So I can see the login here. Now I will try to connect using that login. So I will just send it a SQL Server authentication. You can see now I am able to connect to the instance using SQL Server login. Okay, but I am not able to see anything inside the databases. Now I will go back to the connection which I have made using the sysadmin account. Go to the databases, and then I'll go to security and roles, database roles. This is where we create the database roles. Okay, so these are the default database roles that comes along when database is created. So I'll just go here, create a new database role. So before creating, the reason why we are creating a database role is in case in future if you are moving the database to another server, then it will be very easy to fix the permissions issues. You don't have to think about the object level mappings and everything. So you can just move the database and assign the same role to the login over there, so which will get the execute permissions or any other similar permissions. So whenever if somebody asks you to grant permissions on a database, it's best practice to create a database role and then do it. So I'm creating something like execute role. And then I don't have to select anything over here. I'll just go to securables. I need to search for the table over here. Objects of all types. And then click OK. So tables I can select. Okay. So in this case I have to select the stored procedures and click OK. So it will show you everything. This is the procedure which I have created, and rest of the things also it is showing. So I just have to select this and then select execute. So I am granting execute permissions to this new role, and I am going to click OK. Now this is done. So Now what I will do is I'll go to security, go to sample user, go to user mappings, select the database, which will by default give the public role, and then I have to select the execute role. So I just have to click OK, and then now the sample user has got the execute permissions on this procedure. So we can just refresh this connection which I have made using the sample user. Now I can go to the database, I can expand it, I can go to programmability, click this plus, and I can just go here and execute the stored procedure. Okay, so it is returning the values. As you can see, there is a log symbol over here, which means that you won't be able to script it also. So we are just granting execute permissions to the login, but the user will not be able to view the definition of the procedure. That's it for now, guys. If you are having any queries, please leave a comment. I will respond back. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this.